sharp warning. Good. Good to see you. Start till they tell me the stream is starting. What did you say? Yeah, the difference between us and Jim Littman is that I have to wait to start until the stream starts. I'm getting several more texts. You know, Tim.
Oh. Politicians are apparently ready. We're ready. Okay.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rabbi Michael Feshbach, and this was, I thought, to be the first service that we would be rejoined by Deborah Waldorf, except that she got a phone call a couple weeks ago and came in for emergency support 2 Fridays ago. But welcome back on your first official service with us.
Thank you.
And I'm delighted to be with you. There is one thing we want to say that will be one piece that you've heard only once before. So Deborah will share with you chords. Actually, after Kaddish, instead of singing Oseh Shalom, we will be doing something different.
A couple of years ago, when my stepmother passed away, my father wrote a beginning of a prayer, of a song, and he then had it commissioned to be completed, and it is right after, it's usually sung right after the mourner's Kaddish, and it's about, it really talks about what she was like. Zichrona Livra, I'm going to make sure I have the thing. Yeah, okay, so I was saying it right.
Yeah.
Zichrona Livracha, and it talks about, revolution can bring laughter or tears, is a blessing, and, she was a very strong social activist, and it's a beautiful melody, and it's uplifting, and it's interesting because it ends on a higher note than you'd expect. It doesn't really resolve, and because he really felt it was important, because he felt that
Following year, in the following way, this past summer on Cape Cod. So when you're away, there are always things happen. It's just because you're oriented to time in a different way, you notice things differently. So I think that's why. I've shared with you before that we often go to Chatham to Larry's PX, which has a great sign on the outside that says, "Sorry, we're open," and the waitresses wear shirts that say, "Order whatever you want, eat whatever you get." But this year, on our last day on the Cape, we went all the way from towards one end near Wellfleet to the entire other end. Julie and I have a college classmate who became a Reconstructionist rabbi and then made Aliyah to Israel. And we have been following, she's actually been following us on online services when I was in St. Thomas and a little bit here. But she lives in Sur Hadassah, and we've been following for the past 9 months online many of what she has posted. And we know that she has a daughter who's in the army, and the Israeli army. And, you know, it's been a hard few months. So she and her wife decided to let her daughter, and the army gave permission for this, to let her daughter go blow off some steam, have an escape. She was off duty and was allowed to travel to a concert to avoid this tension of terrorism and pressure. And so she had tickets and she went to a concert in Vienna, which was then canceled.
Oh.
Concert in Vienna, which, you know, she goes to escape terrorism, and there it finds her. Prevented in this case, but still. So it's a connected world, an interconnected world, Jewish stories and the Jewish people. We welcome Shabbat with Kabbalat Shabbat, the psalms and songs with which we welcome Shabbat. Lechuna Ranana on page 130, and Shiru Ladonai on page 131. Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai, sing unto God a new song. 130 in the brackets, if you're using this book for the first time. The brackets are a whole other story, but when we refer to page numbers in the small books, they're bracket page numbers. Thank you.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, ladonai. Lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, ladonai. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, nechad mavana b'todah. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, biznirot naria lo. Lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, ladonai. Lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena,
Page
ladonai.
131.
Shiru ladonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru ladonai, kol haaretz. Shiru ladonai, shiru shir chadash, shiru ladonai, shir haaretz. Shiru ladonai, baruch shemo, basrim yom leyom, Yeshuato. Shiru ladonai, baruch shemo, basrim yom leyom, Yeshuato. Lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, ladonai. Lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, lechuna ranena, ladonai.
On page 135 from Psalm 99. The English words mean exalt Adonai, our God, and bow toward God's holy hill. That is, of course, a reference to Mount Zion, to Jerusalem. It is not a reference to any place in South Jersey. I have not found a hill anywhere that I have gone. There was one slight incline, and it said that it was the area that the apartments near there were called Heights, just for a tiny slight incline. But nothing in this flat area. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu, exalt Adonai our God, and bow toward God's holy hill. Page 135.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho.
on pages 138 and 139, stanzas 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when, in a few moments, we reach stanza 9, we will rise and face the entrance, letting Shabbat's presence come into our lives. Pages 138 and 139.
Lift. My brain just stopped. Kabbalat, lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat de
Rise and we
Kabbalat.
face the entrance.
Glory to Shalom, ateret ba'ala, gam besimcha u'besola, tov temnei am segula, boi chala boi chala. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala,
Please be
penei
seated.
penei Shabbat de Kabbalat. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat de Kabbalat. La 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat de Kabbalat. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat de Kabbalat.
So I've said this before, but we have a different group, so I get to use the same story. I'm sorry, so I'll repeat myself. But for Lecha Dodi, we learned something very interesting. It is not a Jewish custom generally now at a wedding to rise when the bride comes in. That is an American Christian custom. Sometimes in interfaith marriages, people will be confused about, I don't know when it stopped, I don't know how it stopped, I don't know how American Christians started it, but you can learn something just from the motion and the language and what the customs and traditions. Waking from his sleep, Jacob said, "Truly Adonai is in this place, and I did not know it." He was awestruck and said, "How awe-inspiring is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." Shalom Aleichem, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem.